This is Groundeffected. My name is your dad, and I 3D print and paint models just like these over a year and okay, I'll be totally honest. I try to do this whole thing where I explain who I am and what I do, but I don't care. This is the current situation. I am curing these little bits that I need for the model I'm going to be painting. And that model is actually in bits on my table because I am preparing it to get its paint. And that draws me to the next conclusion. And the conclusion is that this is the model that we are painting. This is Cruella De Vil, sculpted by MCM, my custom model 3Ds, who is obviously this week's video sponsor. Thank you to them for sponsoring us. And let's just get straight into painting the model. Now, I'm not going to lie. I made mine smaller. The way he sculpted it is quarter scale. I made mine 60% of this. Which is close enough to be in 1/6 scale. However, it's a little bit smaller, but this means that I have very small things. So I'm going to try not to lose these things during this process, and if they go missing, well, then they'll be missing, obviously. See what I mean? It's already gone. You can't even see it on the table. Other than a little bit of gap filling, I think we are almost ready to start priming this model. I'm going to do all the prep work that I need to do, and we'll just come back to this video when it's ready for the paint. Oh, on the subject of prepping things, I got these things from I got these things which are actually just loads of different pieces of sandpaper. They call it a sanding sponge, but they lied. It is sandpaper attached to a sponge. It's still very useful though. I got these in stock in my shop. You have to come into the shop to get it, so there's that. I'm going to start out with a zenithal on this model. This is a white ink, and I'm going to be using a little bit of this pure alcohol. This is 99% alcohol. This is to thin my ink, and I have put the model together because it makes the most sense to do the zenithal in the position that the model is going to be. Now, the zenithal doesn't necessarily mean it has to be a zenithal. You can put this light source wherever you want. It's just a general term people use. And by people, I mean myself, when I'm putting white over the top of black. In most cases, it's going to be light coming from the top and shadows coming from the bottom. That's going to be this case as well. What we're looking for here is very clearly to see the light source. As you can see, I have chosen where my light source is coming from. That is literally all that the white is for. This is to lighten up the areas and keep shadows in the areas that we want to be shadowed, obviously. Usually this is also the part in the video where I add a little bit extra, and that is because most people's attention spans can't last past 3 squirts. And now that I have the highlights and shadows set up for my model, I can start working on laying down the world famous pinkle. This is the color that is between pink and purple, but basically this is the undertones for skin tones. Now in this model, I'm going to attempt something a little bit different. Don't even ask me why, because I myself don't know, other than I just try things sometimes, and it seemed to work out okay. So if you wanted another way of painting skin tones, this is another way of painting the same skin tones, basically. Also, by the way, I use this sunny skin tone. I personally don't like this color, so I am going to switch this up later and use basic skin tone instead. However, take note that adding layers of color like this, it does add to the look of the skin tones. Those were layered up quite a bit, so I'm going to leave them to dry, and while they dry, I'm going to paint the bag that is going on the base with just red, and when I'm done with that, I will spray a Carabao Crimson into the shadows to create some shadows, as one does. When that is dry enough, I used my wife's hairdryer to speeden that up. I then used a gloss clear coat over the top to make it look shiny. I then took some Corax white and painted that on the base. I wanted the base to appear like a very nice off-white, but at the same time I didn't want it to be completely white, so I used some Griff Charger Grey and sprayed that onto the bottom part of the base and in the crevasse around the center. And as you can see, there is a nice gradient making my base a little bit less boring. Now I'm going to use some Orcish Dermis to spray in the bendy parts of the skin. This is one of the colors that I use to help bring the life back into the skin, because most skin tones are actually really desaturated and it drives me nuts. As you may notice, I was pointing at my airbrush. That is because I literally just added a little bit of white ink into that later skin tone that I used just to create another layer between layers. And then I'm going to use a highlight skin color, which is a very bright color, just to highlight the brightest spots on the skin. For the stockings, I'm going to take Brown Rose, which was found actually in the skin tone section of the Vallejo model stuff. Anyway, and I painted that just with the airbrush and a very thin layer over the highlight areas of the stockings. I then came back with some Black Templar from the shadowed areas to make sure I caught underneath the knee and some of the other areas like below the calf and stuff like that. As you can see, this gives like a grayish look to the stockings, and in hindsight I would have maybe done 2 more layers of this, but I accepted this gray look, and if you were painting a model like this, you could accept the gray look and it would look just fine. So moving on, I'm going to start painting the shoes, and at first I'm going to use deck tan to paint just that little small piece that is on the inside of the tongue of her shoe. And then I'm going to use red over the top of that. The deck tan first was just so that my red was so much brighter. I'm then going to take some black and paint the shoes black fully. When they are completely dry, I'm going to use a gloss over the top of them and make sure that they look nice and shiny. Now that all that playing is over and done with, I can start working on the bag that is going on the base, and I'm gonna paint these straps with a silver. But before I do that, I want to set it up with black, and the reason for this is because I'm probably gonna miss some stuff, and actually I'm purposefully gonna miss some stuff because having the black in the shadows helps to create some depth in the silver. It also helps hide some weird mistakes. The black I find is actually easier to cover than what the silver is, but black is always a really good base coat for colors like silver because you can leave it in the crevasses to create some shadows. And now once that's all done, I can start working on the dress that Cruella herself is wearing, and for this I'm going to use the same color that I used to paint her bag, and the main reason for this is because this color has got a very good coverage, but it is also extremely bright, and this is exactly what I want. Now I'm going to want to add some shadows to this, and this is going to be kind of difficult without masking, but because I'm taking Grimoire Purple, which is almost a good enough color to put a shadow on the skin tones as well, I'm going to make sure that all the skin parts are together while I spray this in the shadows, giving me some shadows without having any overspray. But there is overspray, it just actually looks like it's meant to be there. You can't even tell, actually. Let's not talk about it, and let's just move on to painting the necklace. And the necklace is just painted black. It's pretty simple, really. A black with a silver spot on the little metal piece in the front. I have no words for what even these things are. But the words that I do have are ones for how I painted the gems on her hands, and that was with silver first for the rings themselves, with a little bit of deck tan over the jewel, and then using this Tesseract Glow, I painted the jewels and gave them a gloss clear coat as well. So I am calling it done for the day. That is just because it's getting late. I've painted this much. All I have to do is her face and her coat. Don't worry about that. Which needs to have some spots because of the Dalmatians. And speaking of spots, this is a good spot to explain to you the sponsor of this week's video. This is my custom models, and you can join them over on Patreon. this is actually the model from this week's video. Of course, these are part of, I think, last month's collections, but these models are all available every single month. Different models, not these exact ones. Man, I'm ruining this one. I mean, I think you get it by now. This video was sponsored by MCM 3D. You should go check them out. There's a link for them in the description. They're the ones who sculpted the video model, the model in the video. Words are so hard. Just go freaking join their Patreon now. Thank you, MCM, for sponsoring this video. Now I'm going to quickly work on the hair of this model, as I am now going to start completing the model. And for the hair, I used a bit of skeleton horde just from the shadows. On the highlights of the black, this time I chose to use a green color. And this is because I don't really actually have an answer for that, other than I just knew that it wouldn't be green when I put it over the top. It would have a tint, a hue, it would make the hair look a little bit lighter. It's a thing. Try it. It's blue or green, one of those two. Yellow also works, by the way, but we're getting so far off topic. If you may have noticed, I sprayed a little bit of a grey shade into the shadows of the coat. And when I was done with that, I took some black and painted the spots all over the coat. These are just... doesn't really matter how you paint them, to be honest. I just literally painted spots and didn't try very hard to make them very perfect, because they wouldn't be perfect anyway. I then took that same grey and painted that into the crevasses around the ridge of the coat. This is a very, very fine line, and it helps to separate the seams and just helps to make it look like you put more attention into the model. I can then put these parts together. Now, this was a slightly stressful bit, and I did have to pay a little bit of attention to the fitting of the seam. And there is still a seam, but we won't talk about it, it's not that bad. Taking some Griff Charger Grey, I'm going to spray that on a very low air pressure just into the eye sockets to kind of simulate some form of makeup. Now, I'm a very unsophisticated man, and I don't understand how makeup and things like this work, so bear with me when it comes to this kind of stuff. What I do know, though, is that you need to paint the caterpillars on top of her eyes, otherwise it's going to look awkward, and yes, that is a difficult part. Just do it. Don't worry about it. Just do it. I also painted her lips with a very bright red. This is because she has bright red lipsticks, obviously to match her bright red dress, I would assume. Then I painted the black into her eyes, and this particular character has a very hard eyeliner look, so I made sure that this time those eyes had eyeliner all the way around before I came back and painted a little bit of a highlight onto her coat. This is on just the edges using a dry brush, and this helps to just create a bit more depth. Now that the black in her eyes is dried properly, I can come in with some brighter color. In this case, I use a highlight skin, which is kind of white, but it's definitely not white, because white would look really weird if you painted it here. If you don't have this, you could mix a little bit of brown into your white just to get a slight off-white, and then paint the eyes very carefully into the shapes that I want. When you're done with that, then you can paint the eyeballs, the inside of the eyeballs. I can't even remember the words for these things. The colored part that is round, you paint it with the darker color, then the lighter color. Her eyes are green, so I painted a dark blue, and then I painted a green on the inside, giving a slight blue rim around the edge of that green eye color. I then painted a black dot for the pupil and a white specular highlight, very carefully using this gloss color to paint over her lips and eyes, because this gloss color will ruin everything if you are not careful. And I then glued her hair pieces together, trying my best to make sure they were as straight as possible. I stuck that head on top of the model and called this one done. Now, this is the 4th time that I've recorded this outro section, so if the words don't work this time, you're getting the porridge that comes out. I cannot do it over and over again, because apparently my mouth will not cooperate with my brain. If you have enjoyed this video, I would appreciate greatly if you click the like button. However, if you click the share button and shared it upon any of your social channels, any of your medias of socials, or just shared it with your gran. Specifically, I hope that you share it with your gran, and after that, you will then maybe click the subscribe button, because you haven't done that yet. Then great. Now we can move on to the other people that watch this video, and those are my Patreons, because I need to thank those people. because without them, the lights wouldn't blind my eyeballs, and I couldn't keep doing this, whatever the heck this thing is I'm calling as a job. So thank you to those guys for helping me keeping this going. And if you're interested in just the little bits and pieces that I post up, that are spare content, that will be over on the Patreon, so maybe you want to check it out. I don't know, I don't care. And if you didn't like anything you saw in this video, that is one thing that I also don't care about, and now you should probably fuck off. Oh, by the way, since I have started messing a little bit around with the metalworking, I figured I would try to make a themed piece of jewelry for this model, and I might use this as something I might keep doing going forward, but I'm not 100% sure about this, so I thought I would just show you what I made. And this is a Cruella De Vil themed ring that I have made out of a 925 sterling silver, in which I have wrapped around all sorts of things and mounted a couple of cubic zirconias and one garnet. And also I think the other things are called spinels. I don't actually know what the heck I'm doing. However, this is the thing I have made, and it is a size M. If you're interested in buying this thing, by the way, hit me up in the DMs, send me an email, whatever. I don't care how you reach out. If you want it, then reach out. Tell your mum I said hi.